And without much ado, I'm going to invite our chair of the SANLiC board, Ms. Lailal Vahed, who doesn't need much introduction, but in fairness to Lailal, when Lailal speaks, we all listen. And so I am going to call her to welcome you to this very special occasion, and then we will commence our program.
Good morning, colleagues. As Chairperson of the South African National Library and Information Consortium, I take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to all present to the 2017 biannual SANLiC conference being held in my hometown of Durban. Welcome to SANLiC board directors, SANLiC members, delegates, presenters, and our industry partners. I would like to extend a special welcome to all international guests for sharing your time with us. More especially, I would like to welcome today's opening speakers, Ralph Schimmer, Head of Information Provision at the Max Planck Digital Library, who is here in person, and Bernard Rentier, Rector of the University of Liège, who will join us remotely in a short while. The theme of disruption in the library, the laboratory, the classroom has many of you wondering, what is SANLiC up to? We allude to two types of disruption. The first is not of SANLiC's making. The disruption to the research process and the production of scientific knowledge exists and has existed for some time and will continue to exist at a global level. We need to ask why. The second is the disruption we as SANLiC need to make and to convince stakeholders and like-minded organizations nationally and internationally to join us in this disruption, is to cause current systems and methodologies around the production and dissemination of scientific knowledge to be turned around, to be flipped, as the saying is now going. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, information was free. Scientific knowledge was shared freely, the true beginning of open access. Then came the time that information had to be paid for to cover production costs, but efforts were made to ensure that it was affordable. That galaxy is now so far away that we have forgotten the true reason why scientific knowledge was and is produced. The information industry in its entirety is listed as one of the most important and lucrative economic sectors globally. Although the production of scholarly literature forms a fraction of the information industry, it nevertheless contributes magnificently to this money-spinning sector. Let us for a moment consider the actual production of information. Jeremy Norman traces the history of the book and examines the transition from print to the internet. We are well aware that prior to the 1500s, slaves were used to copy in handwriting the contents of one book to produce several copies. Gutenberg's invention of the printing press revolutionized the process, the result being a better quality as well as significantly faster speeds of duplication, further resulting in wider distribution of single works. Norman states that it has been estimated that at least 35,000 different editions were printed during the 15th century, but improvements to the printing process led to a single printer in the mid-18th century having the ability to print 200 sheets per hour. Wow. Add steam-driven power to this in about 1810, coupled a few years later with the advent of printing on continuous paper, and you then have a newspaper like the Times showing significant improvement in distribution because of the ability to deliver faster copies off the press. We also note that the newspaper was very affordable to the man in the street. Fast forward to now, where computing is involved in the entire process, including writing, editing, images, design, pre-press and distribution. Whether the final product is actually printed or digital, IT is involved. The electronic product, of course, bypasses the need for paper, printing, and binding. Try to correlate all of this to the rising cost of the final product, and my guess is that the correlation runs skew and ceases to relate. My take on this is, something is rotten in the state of pricing of scholarly information. And it has to stop. Something's going wrong with the technology. Forgive me for this paraphrase of the words spoken by Marcellus to Horatio and Hamlet, something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Words which noted that that country was facing moral and political corruption. But I will not stand here and dare any of us to wait for heaven to direct it, as was the advice of Horatio at the time. We have to fix this issue, and the we is a very collective and global we, far wider than the we as SANLiC. The issue of information pricing for SANLiC is no longer simply about negotiating lower annual increases to existing products, feeling gleeful that we are saving on the actual market price. We do get good discounts and deals for our members. Currently we achieve an over 80% cost avoidance. But the issue has to go back to the actual market price. Is the price of information, scientific information, relative to the cost of information production? How much does it cost to produce scholarly information? And is the cost actually borne by the publishers, or does the main cost of producing scholarly information actually emanate from the temples of learning, that is, the educational and research institutions of the world? So when the publisher costs the selling price of information, what is the markup based on? I must say at the outset that my stance on this issue is not an onslaught against the industry representatives present today. For the most part, we work very well together with many of you, and you do the best you can to understand our dilemmas. As SANLiC, we value our relationships with you. This approach, however, will probably meet with even more resistance from scientific publishing industries that we currently face. So then we look to another model, open access, which is why you see that the program for this conference leans heavily towards OA, and in particular towards the OA 2020 initiative. And you have been wondering why SANLiC is hosting an open access conference. Hopefully at the end of the next 2 and a bit days, the reason will become apparent. Suffice for now to say that we all have to recognize that the current models of dissemination of scientific information are not sustainable. Therefore, all delegates at this conference need to bear this disruption theme in mind as we make our way through the very elaborate and enthralling program that has been put together for us. The lineup looks both exciting and intriguing, so I think we are in for an interesting few days together. We started this event with a very successful pre-conference yesterday, during which we had a meeting of the minds of heads of academic and research libraries, vice-chancellors and/or DVCs, the DG for the Department of Science and Technology, a director for university policy from DHET, as well as ASIF. We are optimistic that the seeds of collaboration have been planted. I must take this opportunity to thank all our exhibitors and sponsors, without whom this conference would not be possible. Please remember to visit the stands and to engage with the exhibitors during the breaks, even if it is just to make their acquaintance or to reintroduce yourselves and to set up possibilities for future engagements. Many thanks to the SANLiC staff, Glenn Truren, Laura Buchanan, and Naomi Gaines for the efforts that have gone into the arrangement of this conference. All that's left now is to sit back and enjoy the journey, because the sky is the limit. Thank you.